Well, apparently a lot of things have happened since yesterday, so we need to talk about it. And in today's video, we're going to start with Murders at Karlov Manor. We're going to jump back to Zendikar Rising. And somewhere in there, we're going to hit a lot of other sets too, because these are disappearing faster than we realize. And yes, I've left you on a cliffhanger. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for stopping by my channel today. Either you came for the content, the personality, you wanted to hang out, you wanted to make fun of me. Take your time, enjoy yourself. Guys, I'm glad you're back either way. So what are we talking about today? Well, some prices are getting out of hand. Some prices are too cheap to pass up on, and we need to discuss this. If you're not aware of it, you will be by the end of the video. First, we're going to stop by and take a look at Murders at Karlov Manor, that set that everybody hates. Now, Undercity Sewers, when this thing first dropped, I remember talking to people about this card and saying at $4 this thing's a steal. Buy 4 of each of the Surveil lands. They're going to be sought after later. I didn't realize how little of Murder at Karlov Manor was going to be opened. The fact there wasn't a lot of this product open brought the price to a whole different stratosphere. It's highly desirable. Surveil is better than the Temple lands. Scrying is great. Surveil and dumping something into my graveyard is even better if I have a way of getting it back. Now, when you look at these lands and the price tag attached to them, there's a whole combination of factors that are leading us down this primrose path of beauty. The card is versatile. It's got Island Swamp. Like all of them, it's not just a generic land. It has a whole different level when you start making it fetchable and you make players be able to go after these things. Love the card. Love the entire series of these lands. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. These cards aren't being opened anymore. The money moved on, which means they are sought after. Players want to get their hands on them. They want them for deck construction. And at that price tag, they are selling every single day. They are moving. Now, what does that mean for later? Well, that's a different conversation, but we may find ourselves in a different circumstance now where Wizards of the Coast didn't think they were going to ramp up on this, but now they have to. They can't have this thing hitting 30, 40, 50 bucks. They'll reprint it before then. It's a rare, don't forget. It's not impossible to find these things. People are opening 3 or 4 or 5 a box. So what happens now? Well, you could have arbitrage. You could see some people going back from Murders at Karlov Manor and trying to open these and try to get them inside boxes. The problem is you probably can't get enough to justify a play booster box price unless you can get them cheap. And we all know Murders at Karlov Manor has been on sale already. So we'll have to see what the actuarials are on this about 6 months from now. If this card doesn't dip sooner rather than later, we're going to see people opening more boxes purely because the lands are in there. But it's not the only one. Let's jump back for a second and take a look at Ikoria. Now, I think these things, not just in Ikoria, but we also had them in the Secret Lair version. But look at where the price of going. It's flirted above 20 bucks. Right now, we have an average price of $18.53. We all love these cards when they came out. And when they were about $2 each, I remember doing the videos again. You guys, if anyone's been around my channel for a while, will remember I said at this price, buy a whole bunch. Buy the full arts for like $4. They're amazing. You're going to make your money. Well, a lot of players listened. A lot of players made some money. Now, these cards are due for a reprint. They haven't happened yet, but you can't have these cards going above 20 bucks. Yes, again, multiple land types, taps for 3, and you can land cycle it, which is amazing. You can, go in, cycle it, and go and get yourself a new card, which is awesome. Being able to draw a card is just awesome later in the game if you don't need this land, or if you can dump it in and have a way of getting it back, which is even cooler. Either way, it offers, again, that versatile point which players enjoy, but it is due for a reprint, again, sooner rather than later. So if you're looking for this card at this point, I would hold off and wait, because I think we're only about 12 to 14 months away from seeing some version reprinted or some new land type that will supersede it. We'll have to wait and see, but I just see it moving that way. Now, for our next one here, guys, I want to talk about the pathways. I'm showing you Riverglide Pathway, $8.24. These things went up to around 15 bucks, and they've been dipping down. But they're starting to recover again. They're not losing as much money. Now, remember, these lands, when they come into play, you got to choose one side. Is it going to be an island, or is it going to be a mountain? After it's on the battlefield, you only get one or the other, so be aware of that, okay? And for this type of card, it could have connective tissue synergy later that is going to make it better. and make the price go up. We don't know what Wizards of the Coast is going to do. But the fact they left this as a generic land does not help this card. Okay? It doesn't say island, it doesn't say mountain. So because of that fact, it is limited in what it can do. Still a great card, but it is not going to be a $20 card. Okay? It's not possible based on what we see that is already out there in the market space. Now, let's take a look at Spara's headquarters. This is Streets of New Capenna. This is when we got the opposite lands finally brought into play. You notice here they went from the $20 mark and they've been slipping ever since. New Capenna is now rotated out and these cards are dipping down. Are they a good buy? Is this a good deal? Do I think you should own 4 of each one? Yes. Yes, I do. I do, because $10 for each one and you never have to worry about this mana base again. Okay? And I'm not just talking about Spara's headquarters, but each of those lands. If you open up the boxes of Streets of New Capenna, if you got them cheap when they were like $100 a box, you probably got 3 or 4 or 5 of these lands in there, which kind of covers the box, plus whatever else you may have gotten. Guys, not a bad deal, even at $10. You can also find some of them cheaper than this if you look around, okay? Just shop around a bit. This card will actually dip a little bit more. You've got probably another 20% drop in the next year, so keep your eye on it. It's going to be a good thing to look over. Now, the next one. This is Steam Vents. The reason I'm showing you this one is one of the last cards before we jump to the next part of the conversation. $14.55. Do you remember the first card I showed you? Do you guys remember that? Because if we just jump back for a second, you can see here, Undercity Sewers is 27. This is a Shockland from Ravnica Remastered. They have made it so easy to get these cards now that I'm just shocked that the price is this cheap. I know. What a side little tangent barb in there. I know, great joke. It's a dad joke, don't worry. I look at this and say to myself, where's it going to go? They're actually going to dip a bit. This is probably going down to about the $12 level. And as the market absorbs Ravnica Remaster over the next couple of years, this will go back up as long as they don't reprint it again. Market is always seeking these cards out, but it is very backwards to see a card like this that can come into play untapped if you take the 2 damage versus Undercity Sewers. The market's a little bit upside down on these things. And that leads us to our last one. Guys, Polluted Delta, Modern Horizons 3. Now, just like the Shockland before at Steam Vents, these cards are selling every single day. And I'm showing you more expensive versions because there are cheaper stuff out there. You can find copies of these for less than this if you look around on TCG Player. Of course, using my affiliate link found in the description of this video. Yes, I have to shill for myself once in a while. Every little bit helps the channel. But I look at these cards, I look at where the value is. And I say, this is an amazing price. This is an amazing card. And if I didn't already own a couple of play sets, I would buy more. I would hold on to more of these just in case. But these are cards players are going to go after right away. You're going to need them. They made it affordable for you, and you should buy them because the market will probably not be spewing these out for another couple of years. They'll let the market absorption happen, just like with Modern Horizons 2, when we saw all those cards, Arid Mason stuff, just got obliterated, and we're waiting for all these things to come around again. Same with these. The Pocket Rocket is dropped, the price is just sunk to the floor, and this is where we're at, okay? Now, let's consider the fact that we have a new mana base that's just come on board. Okay, Duskmourn gave us those lands that come into play, and they give you one color, right? Or they give you another color if you have like a swamp or a mountain or an island in play, which means those cards are awesome. Fetch lands can help you get these things and make these things all work. So do original dual lands, and I've seen that played. I've seen a mix of fetch lands, dual lands, and those lands go in. It was pretty fun. No, they didn't win though. It wasn't fast enough. It got the mana they needed, but it wasn't exactly the way they needed it. I've seen people do it better. But it was still pretty cool to see that this thing kind of came around. And those lands right now, Blazemire and all those, they're like what? $8? $7 and change US? Less than $10 here in Canada? And they're selling every day as well. The Duskmourn ones, I'm not going to show pictures or images right now. They're brand new. But time will tell in the next little while how those cards connect. But they are missing key things, right? We can't forget that. They're not going to cover all the bases. Undercity Sewer seems to have hit a real vein with players, though. And that means cards like this they're the beginning of deck construction. Everyone needs a solid mana base that allows them to build new commander decks, new decks for vintage, kitchen table, whatever format you love. You're looking at lands because they make everything else work in your deck. You're looking for cheap prices. you're looking for versatility, and Wizards of the Coast has filled that role by giving us these cards, and they'll keep looking. They will keep digging. They will keep painting the canvas and giving us different mana bases, and the ones that are most popular will get reprinted. When they see prices going too high because the market's absorbed too many and too many decks have been built and we need more in the market, they will create new ones and they will reprint old ones that are favorites. Either way, the sales are a lot higher than normal for this time of year. I wanted to bring it to your attention because some of these prices are really reasonable. They're very inexpensive, quite affordable for players to get in there. Not to mention if you have some trade and stuff you don't really care about, mana cards are things I generally say to hold on to forever. That way you never have to worry about it. I like the idea of always having a solid mana base. I don't usually trade those cards in. I just hold on to them for the long term because they're just too good to pass up. Either way, I want you guys to drop some comments and let me know what you see going on in your market space. Are you buying some of these cards? Do you find these deals good enough to now buy some and step up with your wallet? Or have you already been buying them like the fetch lands and shock lands? And how do you feel about Undercity Sewer and the cards coming out of Murders at Karlov Manor that nobody cares about? But apparently these cards are getting pretty pricey. Let me know, guys. Have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and a reminder, if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I do put out new content every single day. This weekend's live stream that happens on Sundays, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, is being moved to Monday, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, because it is Canadian Thanksgiving, and I'll be with in-laws and eating turkey and stuff. I look forward to seeing you guys on the Saturday Top 10 and, of course, the Sunday Reserve List Top 10 video. We got some spicy numbers looking to shape up this weekend. I can't wait to share that information with you, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great day today in the world of Magic the Gathering. And don't forget, bring a friend to Magic. Oh, we're looking at the patrons. Look at all these patrons. Look at these guys. They're the supporters of the channel. These are the ones who pay and pony up money every single month to make sure the content happens for you guys. So thanks again to each and every one of them. Because without these patrons, we would not have a channel and daily content would not be possible. So I always take these moments to thank my patrons and my YouTube membership members for making this content happen every single day. Well, welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. You've made it to the end. And a reminder to yourself. Never walk in the dark down an alley when there's 3 giant dogs looking at you. Things don't always end well. And then that person runs into your house. Ramble Jamble.